This video will show you how to do the fog light upgrade on the 2007 through 13 Silverado 1500 and the 2007 through 2014 Silverado 2500. The focus of this video will be on installing the wiring harness for the fog lights and replacing our interior driver headlight switch with one that accommodates our new fog lights. There are two parts you're going to need for this install. The first is the wiring harness. The second will be installing the headlight switch that has the feature to turn on and off our fog lights. Your updated switch will also have a chrome ring to match your AC controls. You can see here in the image that where your fog light switch is on your new switch, the old switch that we are replacing just has an indicator that really serves no function, and is also missing the chrome ring, which makes your interior look a little nicer. This is a straightforward install and will only require a few tools. You may find that you need interior trim tools such as these two small and medium pry bars, this number 2 Phillips a 10mm socket, extension, and ratchet. Now that we have our parts and tools, let's get started. Let's begin with our wiring harness. You will notice at both ends of the wiring harness you have your factory plugs, which will plug into your fog lights. In addition, they also have the ground. One side is shorter and tees off. This is your driver side. The other side is longer. This is your passenger side. Now with these identified, let's start running the wire. Start at the passenger side by identifying the ground location. It is located right off the frame, just in front of the body mount bushing. The factory has already established grounds on both passenger and driver side. Here is where the ground is located on the passenger side. Secure the ground here now. I have the bumper pulled to show you how I ran this wire. You will not need to pull the bumper for this install. Notice how the wire is run high and tight and tied back to the existing wire loom. It runs along top of the frame and down on both sides. Now identified, you should be able to see the ground for the driver's side. Secure this ground now. Here is a look back on how the wiring harness is run. Now that we have our wiring harness run and grounded, it'll be time to tie into our power lead. Start by disconnecting the battery. Next, locate the fuse box in the engine bay. It'll be on the driver's side fender. Grab the bottom of the fuse box cover. Pull out and up away from the retaining tabs. Note your 2 retaining tabs. Before we go any further, we want to flip the cover and you will have a diagram of the relays and fuses for your truck. Locate position number 28. This is your fog light fuse. This should be a 15 amp fuse. Now that we have our fuse, let's locate our relay. The relay is positioned just below the fuse. This is number 8430 in my application. This vehicle is set up and ready for fog lights. Next, we'll need to lift the handles that are located on both ends of the fuse box. You will find that these handles are secured down by 2 retaining clips. Pry back on the clips and lift the handle up. Once the handles are free, this next part is a little tricky until you get the hang of it. Now you will pull your handles up to a 90-degree angle. With your hands on the handles, pull up until you feel a slight resistance. Then position the handles back to a 45-degree angle and wiggle it to get it free. Now we will need to remove a retaining clip on the side wiring harness. Take a small screwdriver and insert it into the retaining clip. Twist. This will open the clip. Now take the upper section of your fuse box and move it back towards the cab to get it out of our way. Identify your front right block. This will be the one that we need to remove to insert our power lead. With a small screwdriver, pry out on the red wire retaining clip. Now flip the block over to expose the wiring in the back. You have the black, yellow, and right behind the yellow, you have this open slot. This open slot is where our power lead goes. Note that there is a notched side and a flat side to your power lead. Notice that your notch side of the power lead is going towards the double green wires and your flat side is towards the larger yellow wire. Make sure that your power lead terminal is properly seated into the block. Push firmly down and forward. There should be an open gap from the back of the power lead terminal and the block. Now with the terminal properly seated, press the red wire retaining clips back into place. You may have to press a little firmly to get it to seat. Reinstall the block back into the bank in the reverse order as you removed it. Now that your block is installed, reinstall the upper section of your fuse box in the reverse order that you removed it. And don't forget about the wiring harness retaining clip. This is also a good time to zip tie your power lead back to the OEM wiring harness. Note, if the upper section of your fuse box is not easily sliding back down into position, do not force it. Let me repeat, do not force it. The lower block's tabs will sometimes become misaligned and stop the upper section from sliding down. If you're finding difficulty with this upper section sliding down, be sure to check for obstructions, primarily with the retaining clips on the lower blocks. Our fog lights are now wired up and ready to go. The last thing for us to do is to install the switch. Let's go to the interior. Start by removing the 10mm bolt that is behind the parking brake release. With a number 2 Phillips, remove the 2 screws at both ends of the panel. Now remove the fuse cover panel. Grab the bottom and pull straight out until it releases. Then grab the top section and pull straight back until it pops out. Now to remove the lower panel, start at the passenger side and pull straight back. Once released, move to the driver's side and pull straight back. To remove the driver switch bezel, start at the very top, grab the top corner and pull straight back. Once released, work your way down the outside. When you have the outside released, go towards the inside of the steering wheel column, grab and pull straight back. Note, dependent upon your hand strength, you may find using your trim tools useful. Now remove the light switch wiring harness. Push down on the retaining clip and pull back. The connector will remove easily. With a small screwdriver, pry back on the retaining clips one at a time, while simultaneously pressing from the front side. The headlight switch should remove easily. Reinstall your new switch in the reverse order as the removal. Almost there. All we need to do now is go and reinstall our interior in the reverse order as removal. A quick tip, once you have the light switch bezel reinstalled, test the switch. Press and depress the fog light switch. Look at your instrument panel and you should get the fog light indicator coming on and off. If you have this, your switch is good. Well, that's it for this video. Hope you found it helpful. Catch you out on the scene.